is up, YouTube? It's RSMario here, bringing you the first of hopefully many Fire Emblem videos. Alright, so, I was going to do fake leak theater with this, but, I did some research on Marco Mero. You know, I might have did some jokes about him naming himself after, like, you know, a kind of obscure, you know, late 90s, early 2000s mid-card WWE wrestler. But he's actually been right about a lot of stuff. And the weird thing about it is the games he was right about were pretty obscure. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So of course, you know, today's video is sponsored by Salt, now in Jill flavor. So now you can protect yourself from wounds, unseasoned food, and unsubstantiated internet rumors from Reddit, as well as protect yourself from the wrath of the Almighty God. Salt! Just a little bit, keep you from hell. Alright, so you know, of course, like, comment, subscribe, and do all that kind of stuff if you want to continue to get videos from me. But yeah, so of course, Marco Mero says, so essentially he's kind of talking about some new stuff that's coming down the pike for Nintendo after their big earnings meeting. And so one of the things he's talking about is basically Advance Wars multiplayer for Advance Wars Reboot Camp 1 and 2. But the big thing here is the Fire Emblem stuff. So also, Fire Emblem has not one, not two, but 3 titles in development at this moment, with a spin-off, a remake, and a new game, some of them almost finished. Now this is kind of interesting because I don't think any of the spin-offs have been directly made by Intelligent Systems. I think all the spin-offs have been made with whatever company Nintendo was partnering with. Like Fire Emblem Warriors, if I'm not mistaken, was made at, you know, Tecmo, you know, or whoever makes the Warriors games. I think the same thing happened with Hyrule Warriors as well. And, you know, Hyrule Warriors was not, I don't think it was made by Nintendo E&D. I think it was made by, you know, Tecmo Koei. So keep in mind, the remake was scrapped for 3DS in late 2018 and redone for the Switch since they were working nearly 3.5 years on it. It will cover 2 old games in one with the Echoes subtitle again, and is more ambitious than Shadow of Valencia. So that is also pretty interesting. So technically this can only be 3 sets of games, because there's only 3 Fire Emblem games, 3 sets of Fire Emblem games that kind of go together, that you would put together in one game. It's Fire Emblem 6 and 7, which are the Roy games. Alright, they were both GBA games, so it's understandable that they would remake them on 3DS as one game, and then port them over the Switch, probably update the graphics and whatnot. The other set is the Jig Draw games, which are Fire Emblem 4, Genealogy of the Holy War, and Thracia 776. Which, now, those are kind of interesting because technically Thracia is a midquel of Fire Emblem of Genealogy. Because Genealogy of the Holy War is 2 generations. It's the first generation with Sigurd and all his people, and then it's the second generation with Sigurd's children and all of his group's children and a couple of other people. And Thracia takes place between generation 1 and 2 of that game. So it is technically, you could do that. You know what I'm saying? You could do that. Now technically you don't necessarily need to, because Genealogy is a whole story in itself, and the stories are attached to each other mainly because they're in the same world, like Genealogy and Thracia. So, you know, it is what it is. And the last one, and this is the most likely one, is the Tullius games, which are the Ike games. So this is Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance, or switch those back and forth. Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn is the sequel. And now that would be interesting, because technically those two go together. Like they're Radiant Dawn is a direct sequel of Path of Radiance, and you kind of need both of them to get the entire story. So it's understandable that they would do those two together because you kind of need them together, and they don't necessarily need to do like back-to-back remakes when you could just compile them both into one game. Now the problem with this, and that goes for any of these games, is that you're going to lose some of each game when you mix it together, because otherwise it's just going to be a massive project. It's going to be too long or just too big or something. That's what she said. But yeah, so of course, you're going to lose some with any of these, and it would suck to lose any of these, but specifically the Tullius games, because the Ike story is actually pretty good. But more than likely, it's probably the Ike story. It's probably the Tullius games. Because with Genealogy, if they're doing Genealogy in Thracia, then they're going to have to, like, remix that game, like, kind of hardcore. Like, because there's so much... How can I explain this? There's so much quality of life stuff they would need to do with that game in order to make it applicable for more of the newer players and the casuals, that you might lose what really makes it Genealogy of the Holy War. You know what I'm saying? So while I would love to see a fully 3D voice acted Genealogy of the Holy War, I don't necessarily want it to lose that essence of being Genealogy. It might lose its identity if it gets changed too much. And I've never played any of the GBA Fire Emblems, so I have no idea how compiling them together in one game would be. And then, of course, the other Fire Emblem, in the other hand, will approach things in a less classic way, trying new things for the series, similar to how it's what Three Houses did. This game started development early 2020 with a bigger team than the upcoming remake. So this right here is pretty interesting. So this would be another mainline Fire Emblem game, maybe a sequel to Three Houses, which I would not mind that at all. Or it could be a brand new, completely different story. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes Fire Emblem is known for doing a brand new story, brand new universe, new world, new characters, and everything. So that would actually be cool too. Now, the thing that's saying that this game is bigger than this one, or a bigger team than this one, is interesting, because why would you have, if this game right here, if this remake is going to be so massive, why would you give a bigger team to this game? I would think that I would want my biggest team to handle my biggest project, unless they just have specific people on this project that they want over there. Maybe they got some of the OGs on this project up here, so this way the newbies can work on this one. Either way, things are looking up for Fire Emblem. Now, when will these games come out? I would not be surprised if we didn't see them late this year. Well, at least one of them. Like, probably, like, I think he said that they're farther along with the remake. So I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see the remake coming this year, since they've been doing this for like, what, 3.5 years? The remake coming this year, and then maybe next year we get the spin-off, and then maybe 2024 we get the main game. I wouldn't be surprised. I would love that. I'm not a big fan of the Fire Emblem spin-offs, because I didn't play Fire Emblem Warriors. But if it's something cool though, I would definitely try it out. So, what do you guys think is gonna happen here? Are you excited for 3 Fire Emblem games? Do you think that combining 2 games together is a bad idea? You know what I'm saying? Which set of games do you think is about to get remade? Tell me in the comments down below. And of course, like, comment, subscribe, and as always, folks, keep it real. And I'm going to be streaming Pokemon Legends Arceus tonight, so come back, hit me up tonight, and let's chill.